I overheard my girlfriend on the phone laughing, and then I heard her say, "He's going to propose this weekend. I'll say yes just for the ring, then ghost him." I didn't say anything, just stood there frozen. A couple of days later, she opened the ring box I had planned to give her, only to find a note inside. Now she's been crying outside my building for hours, and I can't bring myself to respond. Started on Saturday. Jessica and I had been together for 4 years. We met at my friend Mike's Super Bowl party. She was his co-worker's roommate. We clicked right away. She was smart, ambitious, and beautiful. I thought I had found the one. After a year of dating, we moved in together and even adopted a German Shepherd, Diesel, who was technically my dog before we lived together, but we considered him family. I thought everything was perfect and was preparing to propose. I had bought the ring months ago, a 2.5-carat diamond that costs nearly 3 months' salary. I planned the whole thing down to the smallest detail. Reservations at Callowis, the steakhouse where we had our first anniversary dinner, a string quartet, everything. It was going to be the most romantic moment of our lives. But when I came home early from playing golf with Mike, I heard her talking on the phone out on the balcony. I didn't expect to be caught, but I was. She was laughing in that carefree way that always made me smile. Only this time it felt different. She was saying, "Yeah, this weekend he's been acting weird all month, hiding his phone, being mysterious, classic pre-proposal stuff." I froze in the hallway, unsure whether to confront her or stay hidden. But then she said something that shook me to my core. "Course I'll say yes. Have you seen the rock his sister wears? His family has money. I'll get the ring, then figure out my exit strategy. 3 months tops," and then she dropped the bombshell. "Anyway, Brad's been waiting for me to end things. He's offered me a position at his firm in Chicago if I want it. And trust me, I do, and I want him." Brad, her boss. The one who always found excuses to text her after hours. The guy she told me was married and not her type. I felt my heart drop as I realized what was really happening. I quietly backed away, went out the front door, and closed it a little louder than I meant to. She called out from inside, "Babe, is that you? You're home early." She came into the living room smiling, acting like everything was fine, like she hadn't just shattered everything. I mumbled something about Mike's back acting up, kissed her cheek, and told her I needed a shower to clear my head. I stood under the water, the sound of it masking my emotions. I wasn't crying. I was too stunned. I was seeing everything clearly for the first time in years. The next day, Sunday, we had brunch with her parents like we always did. I watched her chat with her dad, laughing, talking about wedding venues. They'd been hinting about the proposal for a year now. Jessica played her part perfectly, looking at me like I was the man she loved. Had I misread everything? Had it all been a lie? It didn't even matter anymore. I went through the motions all day, helping clear the table, holding her hand as we drove home. But in my mind I was already making plans. I called in sick to work on Monday, something I'd done only a handful of times in 5 years. The moment Jessica left for her office and to meet Brad, I sprang into action. I can-led the dinner reservation, forfeiting my deposit. I contacted my bank and removed her as an authorized user on all my accounts. I reached out to my landlord and arranged to break the lease. I found a new apartment across town, slightly more expensive, but pet-friendly. Diesel was coming with me. Tuesday afternoon, I made a trip to the jeweler where I bought the ring. I explained everything, and though they were hesitant, they agreed to help. I exchanged the engagement ring for store credit, keeping the empty box. Inside the box, I placed a note while keeping the ring in a safe place. Everything was set. I'd found an apartment, scheduled movers, arranged for Mike to take Diesel for a week. My life was about to change. That night I had planned to propose. I cooked her favorite meal, steak with mushroom sauce and roasted potatoes. I set the table with our best plates, lit candles, and opened an expensive bottle of wine. When she walked in, she was surprised. "What's all this?" she asked. I shrugged and said, "Just wanted to do something special." Throughout dinner, she kept glancing at me, waiting for the ring. When I reached into my pocket, I could see the disappointment in her eyes when it wasn't the ring box. After dessert, I finally did it. I got down on one knee and pulled out the ring box. She looked at me with wide eyes, expecting the proposal she had been anticipating. I asked her to open the box. Her hands trembled as she did. But when she saw the note instead of the ring, her expression went from joy to confusion. The note explained everything. What she had said on the phone, her plans for the future, and my decision to end the relationship. I watched as the realization hit her. I didn't need to say anything more. The damage had already been done. She unfolded the note slowly, her hands trembling, but for reasons that had shifted. The words were simple but heavy. I accidentally heard my partner on the phone, chuckling, and then she said, "He's planning to propose this weekend. I'll accept just for the ring, then disappear." I stayed silent, rooted to the spot, shocked. A few days later, she opened the ring box I had intended to present, but found only a note inside. Now she's been weeping outside my apartment for hours, and I can't find the strength to reply. It all began on Saturday. Jessica and I had been a couple for 4 years. We met at my friend Mike's Super Bowl gathering. She was his colleague's housemate. We connected instantly. She was clever, driven, and stunning. I believe she was my soulmate. After a year of dating, we moved in together and adopted a German Shepherd, Diesel, who was originally my pet but became our shared family. I thought our life was ideal and was ready to propose. I had purchased a 2.5-carat diamond ring months earlier, costing nearly 3 months' pay. I organized every detail. A reservation at Callowis, the steakhouse where we celebrated our first anniversary, a string quartet, the works. It was meant to be the most romantic moment of our lives. But when I returned early from golf with Mike, I overheard her on the balcony, chatting on the phone. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I did. Her laughter, usually so heartwarming, felt off. She said, "Yeah, he's been odd all month, secretive with his phone, acting mysterious, typical pre-proposal behavior." I stood still in the hallway, torn between confronting her and staying quiet. Then her words hit me like a thunderbolt. "Of course I'll say yes. Have you seen the diamond his sister wears? His family's wealthy. I'll take the ring, then plan my escape. 3 months max." Then she revealed the worst. "Anyway, Brad's been waiting for me to break it off. He's offered me a job at his company in Chicago, and I want it, and him." Brad, her boss, who always texted her late, the one she claimed was married and not her type. My heart sank as the truth dawned. I slipped out the front door, shutting it a bit too loudly. She called from inside. "Babe, is that you? You're back early." She entered the living room, beaming, pretending nothing was wrong, as if she hadn't just crushed our future. I muttered something about Mike's back pain, pecked her cheek, and said I needed a shower to think. Under the water, the noise hid my turmoil. I wasn't crying, just numb, seeing our relationship clearly for the first time. The next day, Sunday, we had brunch with her parents, as usual. I watched her talk with her father, giggling, discussing wedding venues. Her parents had been nudging about a proposal for a year. Jessica played her role flawlessly, gazing at me like I was her true love. Had I misunderstood everything? Was it all fake? No longer mattered. I went through the day mechanically, clearing dishes, holding her hand on the drive home. But mentally, I was plotting my next steps. On Monday, I called in sick to work, a rare occurrence in 5 years. Once Jessica left for her office, and to see Brad, I acted quickly. I canceled the dinner reservation, losing my deposit. I contacted my bank to remove her from my accounts. I spoke with my landlord to end the lease. I found a new, pet-friendly apartment across town, a bit pricier, but Diesel was coming with me. On Tuesday afternoon, I visited the jeweler where I'd bought the ring. I shared my story, and though reluctant, they agreed to assist. I traded the ring for store credit, keeping the empty box. I placed a note inside it and stored the ring safely. Everything was ready. A new apartment, movers booked, and Mike agreed to care for Diesel for a week. My life was about to transform. That evening I had planned to propose. I prepared her favorite dinner, steak with mushroom sauce and roasted potatoes. I set the table with our finest dishes, lit candles, and opened a costly bottle of wine. When she walked in, she was surprised. "What's this about?" she asked. I shrugged and said, "Just felt like doing something nice." During dinner, she kept eyeing me, expecting the ring. When I reached into my pocket, her face fell. It wasn't the ring box. After dessert, I knelt on one knee and presented the box. Her eyes widened, anticipating the proposal she'd predicted. I asked her to open it. Her hands shook as she did. But when she found the note instead of a ring, her joy turned to bewilderment. The note detailed everything: her phone conversation, her future plans, and my choice to end our relationship. I watched as the truth sank in. No more words were needed, the damage was done. She unfolded the note slowly, her hands trembling for a different reason now. The words were straightforward but weighty. "I heard your phone call on Saturday. I know about your plan. I know about Brad. Consider this my ghost." Her complexion drained. "Mark, I can explain." I rose, already walking toward the door where I'd left a packed bag. "There's nothing to explain," I said, my voice cold. "I'll be back on Saturday with movers to get my things. I'm taking Diesel. The lease is paid until next month. So you've got time to figure things out." "Mark, please. You don't understand." I turned back one last time. "I understand perfectly. For what it's worth, I really did love you. Goodbye, Jessica." That was 2 days ago. I've been staying at Mike's, getting to the office early, and leaving late to avoid any encounters with her. The only reason I haven't blocked her number yet is so I can document everything if she tries to twist the story. But I haven't responded to a single message. She's called 47 times, left 29 voicemails, and sent over 60 texts. They range from angry outbursts and jokes to desperate pleas, saying she'll do anything. Tonight, she somehow found out where I was. Shannon, Mike's girlfriend, answered the door and told Jessica I wasn't available. I was hiding in the guest room like a coward. About 20 minutes later, Mike got a call from a mutual friend who told us Jessica was parked outside his building crying in her car. Part of me feels sorry for her. The larger part feels absolutely nothing. The irony isn't lost on me. She planned to ghost me after getting what she wanted, but instead I ghosted her first. The perfect proposal turned into the perfect exit. It's 3:26 a.m. now, and her car is still parked outside. I just checked my phone. It's lit up with text 71. "I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I've silenced my notifications. Tomorrow I have a therapy appointment. Next week I start moving into my new place. In a month, I'll be taking that management training program my boss has been pushing on me for a while. The one Jessica always said was a waste of time. For the first time in 4 years, every decision I make is for me. And despite everything, it feels like freedom. It's been 2 weeks since everything went down. And I have to say, the support from this community has been overwhelming. I didn't expect this post to get this much attention. To answer some common questions. Yes, I exchanged the ring for store credit. I'm using it to buy a watch, something I've always wanted but never thought I deserved. Treating myself for once. No, I haven't taken Jessica back. For anyone suggesting I hear her out. I've heard enough on that phone call. Some things can't be undone. I finally blocked her number after saving all the messages as evidence. Diesel is doing well. Mike's place has a yard and Shannon takes him for runs every day. I'll have him back with me next week when I'm settled into my new place. I found an apartment complex that's pet-friendly, even for large dogs. To the guy who asked if Brad is really married, yes, he is. After seeing their cozy posts on social media, I reached out to his wife through Facebook. Not my proudest moment, but she deserved to know. Jessica got laid off from her job last week. Coincidence? Doubtful. Her parents called me yesterday on my work phone. Smart move since they knew I hadn't blocked that number. Apparently, Jessica told them a very different version of events. When I calmly explained what actually happened, her mom started crying and her dad just went silent. They've always been good to me. And that conversation hurt more than anything else. For anyone telling me I dodged a bullet, you're right. But it still feels like I got hit by shrapnel. I'm taking it one day at a time. Therapy is helping. The management program starts next week. I've reconnected with friends I lost touch with over the years. Someone commented that the best revenge is living well. I'm starting to believe that's true. Thanks again for the support. I may not have the life I thought I was building, but I'm surprisingly okay with the one I'm creating instead. Update. Holy crap. This blew up overnight. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. To the person who asked if I'd share the security camera footage from the proposal night. No, I didn't record it and I wouldn't share it even if I had. Some things should stay private even in the digital age. Edit 2. For those asking about Jessica's current situation, a mutual friend told me she moved in with her sister temporarily. She still emails occasionally now with a tone that's more reflective than desperate. Too little, too late. Final update. It's been a month now. I'm settled in my new place with Diesel. I passed the first phase of the management program with flying colors. I started rock climbing at a local gym. Something I've always wanted to try but Jessica thought was too risky. Risk feels different to me now. Sometimes the safest looking path leads you right off a cliff. I overheard your conversation on Saturday. I learned about your scheme and about Brad. This is me leaving you. Her face turned pale. Mark, I can explain, she said. I stood up and walked to the door where I'd left a packed bag. There's nothing to explain, I replied, my voice calm but firm. I'll return on Saturday with movers to collect my belongings. I'm taking Diesel. The lease is paid until next month, so you have time to sort things out. Mark, please. You don't understand, she pleaded. I looked back one last time. I understand completely. For what it's worth, I truly loved you. Goodbye, Jessica. That was 2 days ago. I've been staying at Mike's place, arriving at the office early and leaving late to avoid seeing her. I haven't blocked her number yet because I want proof in case she tries to change the story. Still, I haven't replied to any of her messages. She's called 47 times, left 29 voicemails, and sent over 60 texts. Some are angry, some are jokes, and others are desperate, promising she'll do anything to fix this. Tonight she figured out where I was. Shannon, Mike's girlfriend, answered the door and said I wasn't there. I hid in the guest room, feeling small. 20 minutes later, a friend called Mike to say Jessica was outside, crying in her car. A small part of me feels bad for her. A bigger part feels nothing at all. It's strange. She planned to leave me after getting what she wanted, but I left first. What I thought would be a perfect proposal became a perfect escape. It's 3:26 a.m. now. Her car is still outside. My phone just lit up with text 71. I'm not leaving until you talk to me. I've turned off notifications. Tomorrow I have a therapy session. Next week I move into my new apartment. In a month, I start a management training program my boss has encouraged for a while. The one Jessica called a waste of time. For the first time in 4 years, my choices are mine alone. Even with all this pain, it feels like freedom. It's been 2 weeks since everything happened. The support from this community has been immense. I never expected so many people to care. Here are answers to some questions you've asked. Yes, I traded the ring for store credit. I'm buying a watch I've always wanted but never felt I deserved. It's a treat for myself. No, I haven't taken Jessica back. To those saying I should listen, I heard enough on that call. Some things can't be fixed. I blocked her number after saving all her messages as proof. Diesel is doing great. Mike's place has a yard, and Shannon runs with him daily. He'll join me next week at my new pet-friendly apartment. Yes, Brad is married. I saw their close social media posts and messaged his wife on Facebook. It wasn't my finest moment, but she had a right to know. Jessica lost her job last week. Coincidence? I'm not so sure. Her parents called my work phone yesterday. Clever, since I hadn't blocked that. Jessica told them a different tale. When I explained the truth, her mom cried, and her dad went quiet. They've always treated me well, so that talk hurt more than anything. To everyone saying I avoided a disaster, you're right. Still, it feels like I'm picking up pieces of myself. I'm moving forward one day at a time. Therapy helps. The management program begins next week. I've even reconnected with old friends. Someone said the best way to move on is to live well. I'm starting to agree. Thank you for the support. I don't have the life I planned, but I'm okay with the one I'm building. Wow, this got big. Overnight, this story spread like wildfire. Thank you for the kind awards, strangers. Proposal footage. Someone asked if I'd share security camera clips from that night. I didn't record it, and even if I had, I'd keep it private. Some moments don't belong online. Jessica now. A friend says she's staying with her sister for now. She emails sometimes, sounding thoughtful instead of frantic. It's too late for that. 1 month later. I'm settled in my new place with Diesel. I aced the first part of the management program. I've started rock climbing at a local gym, something I always wanted to try but Jessica thought was too dangerous. Risk means something new to me now. Sometimes the path that looks safe is the one that drops you off the edge.